California is not where I am anymore. I'm certainly in a place that's doing a lot of yard work. Hey, Lord. I just got back from, feels like a month straight of just living in airports. I was in Myrtle Beach and then San Francisco for a wedding, which, by the way, if you ever get a chance to check out Windsor, California, that is one of the nicest areas I have ever seen, and certainly enjoyed the change from the Florida humidity all of a sudden being there. But what's going on, guys? Everybody, I hope, is better than hanging in there, making moves, just living their lives the way they should be, letting it come to you, the good energy. If you have good energy, good things are coming your way, but I'm not going to be Tony Robbins on this live. it's um it's been 3 weeks since I did a pre-recorded or podcast of any kind. It's been no, I did a live last week. That's a lie. But yeah, guys, I have really missed doing the show. I've been, as I said, traveling, and I felt like the right week to come back because we had our first week of college football. The NFL kickoff was last night, which called that game correctly. The Chiefs winning. They had a heck of a night, specifically Xavier Worthy. I mean, the part of the game I did catch, I actually turned it on and pretty much started watching right when he scored that touchdown. And they've been missing that speed, I know, since Tyreek left. But also, Patrick Mahomes had a giant night, sounds like, as he always does. Uncharacteristic pick, but I mean that's nothing to be worried about, especially in week one. I mean, the Chiefs are not here to play around, and look, your defense is playing against the Michael Vick of today, already arguably the greatest scrambling quarterback of all time. And to shut that team down is no easy task for that defense, but you got to credit those guys. I mean, Spagnola, I've been watching that guy for a long time. I actually saw him play the Skins back in the day when he was with the New York Giants. And I mean, one of the most underrated coaches of all time, I think, for head coaches or assistants. That is really the guy you should be talking about with that defense. But also, they had the task of stopping Derrick Henry, the Earl Campbell of today, and to hold him to 46 yards. I mean, the Chiefs, this might be getting ahead of myself, but early in the season, mark my words, soundbite it, I'm picking Kansas City to win it all again. I'm absolutely picking the Chiefs to win it again because this team is stacked, specifically on the offensive side. I mean, you have, I think, the best. I could make a case easily for Kelsey, the best guy at tight end in the league. And you have easily the best quarterback. But now to have a Xavier Worthy mixed in there, and I think one of the most underrated offensive lines in the game. I mean, who's going to come close? The Ravens are supposed to be the team that is, and they pretty much had that game one, I feel like in the the third quarter, I fell asleep when it was 20-10, but I just didn't feel like the Ravens were ever seriously threatening them. I mean, is that a thing of the past? The Ravens dominant, just outmans you defense. I don't know, but it certainly looked like it last night. I mean, Baltimore is just, they have to earn their way back. You also had, yes, college football last weekend, and I don't really know a great way to segue from NFL to college because they're all owned by the same people, let's be honest. But the Miami Hurricanes, my team, massive dub over the Florida Gators. USC had a big weekend. That was a barn burner in the first half, but look, they got it done. They absolutely got it done against LSU and some other big weekends for week one, but I try to not get ahead of myself here. Like, LSU, or not LSU, Georgia Tech beating Florida State. I was trying not to, they got the win in Dublin, and you can't discredit them for, oh, this and that, but they won the game. But then Florida State to lose in week two, it's going to be tough to bounce back from. The quarterback situation. I mean, it just feels like a mess. I don't know what's going to happen. But then you look at other teams losing in week one and they bounce back. The Dallas Cowboys in 1993. That's an example of, we just were talking about Steve Spagnuolo, the 2007 New York Giants, 0-2 teams that came back to not only make the playoffs, but win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that Florida State is going to go win the championship, but I think that team still is pissed off from last year, and you got to channel that energy like the Ravens last night. I mean, aren't you pissed at how flat you came out and played in the AFC Championship game? Again, it's not easy to beat the Chiefs, but a lot can happen, guys. So, don't count these teams out, but it's going to be an uphill battle for Florida State. And this weekend, we're starting off with some college games tonight. Duke is playing at, I don't know, like what's 7:30. Sunday, of course, we get all of the other week one games. Team near me, Jaguars, are on the road for week one. So look out for me. I'm going to be at Jag Stadium actually for their home opener. And we have somebody in the chat. I know her. Hi. But yes, the week one opener at home, I'm going to be going live for a pregame show for the Jaguars. So make sure that you check that out. I'm going to be dropping the details soon. Also tomorrow, I'm putting out a new blog for the Cage Chat series, which is going to be featuring a UFC veteran, and I'm excited. She's a cool person to talk to from the UFC because she's one of those people that just is not an athlete that takes herself seriously. And I think that's very refreshing, especially in the UFC. I mean, you see these people like Marab who are just, I think that's what people are attracted to. They're having fun with it, and I can't wait to drop the name of this fighter in the promo that I'll be welcoming on. But she did a live last week, and I've been on her lives a couple times, and she engages with fans. That's what I like. So I was able to sneak in an interview with her. Definitely am excited to drop that. I have a new series that I started called Cage Chats, which features just combat or combat sports people, but uh, I try to not stray from its more of MMA fighters. But I'll have some boxing personalities on too for that, or people that cover boxing. So really looking forward to developing that. It's already the fourth release for that series that I've done as far as blogs go, but I'm also developing that into a podcast. So stay tuned. When you do lives or anything outdoors in Florida, talking nonstop in the summertime, oh my Lord, God, you feel it. Scary Bradshaw said, in the South, everybody talks a little bit slower to catch their breath, but it's true. Yeah, I was impressed with my team, Miami, week one. I mean, they had the rushing attack was on, the quarterback play. I'm very impressed with what I saw, but I'm trying not to give them too much credit yet because they are playing Florida, who is not even ranked. Plus, you have the second week of the season is what, Florida Atlantic or one of those types of teams. It's too early to go. This team is going to make a title run, but I believe that Miami's going in the right direction finally. It felt that victory over Florida is the closest I think that team has come to feeling like the 2001 Hurricanes since 2001. I mean, Miami gets a bad rap because, you're never going to have a team, I think, that's as stacked as them again. I feel like, or, you get periods where they're just very special teams like USC in the mid 2000s. You had, how about Georgia right now? I mean, they had a massive day against Clemson, which that's a big victory for week one. Georgia, I don't know. I think they're going to be hard to beat, but Miami definitely going in the right direction. I think 12 is an appropriate ranking for them. We're going to see what happens. The real tests definitely come later on in the year when you get to October. That's when you have like Alabama, LSU, and November is Miami, Florida State. So keep blowing gnats, bugs out of the way, but those are the real tests right there. So I'm not gonna jump and say Miami is going to have title run, but if they did, oh my God, I've waited so long. I grew a beard in the process because it's, man, to think Miami hasn't been to a championship game in 22 years. That's just wild. But yeah, guys, games tonight, I think start at what, 7:30. I can't wait to sit and watch some college football because I didn't get to watch Miami last week, but I'm not used to having Florida teams on the radio, so I could drive around last weekend, listen to the Gators and the Hurricanes, which was nice. My pick for the ACC championship game, I don't know. Honestly, after Florida State lost last weekend, I'm picking Miami to be in it, but I don't know if I can stand by them winning it yet. because I want to at least go past week one and then make that call. But I can confidently say I believe that Kansas City is going to win the Super Bowl again. I believe that has to do with advertising, but college, I don't know if they have corrupted it yet, taken over who's supposed to win and who's not. I said last week, I believe on my live, I don't know if I did, I can't remember, but I'll say it now that I think Georgia is going to win it all. However, yes, I think Miami will get a very good bowl game, and I'm going to make my pick next time I come on here for who will be in the ACC championship game. But let me know who you think is going to be there in the comments. I'm a big fan of Miami, so obviously I stand by my team. But there were also just not a lot of good ACC performances week one that I'm thinking about off the top of my head here. So I don't know. I mean, a lot can go wrong, but a lot can go right. You may be wrong, I may be right. Hey, but it just might be another ACC team you're looking for. I have no idea, but it's not going to be Virginia. Despite the Cavaliers having a big week one, it's weird to not be in Charlottesville for the first time ever for UVA week one because I don't know. I feel like I don't think UVA is going to lose their football program, but I mean they're one of those teams that is just hard to watch the Cavaliers every year. Just people around that area getting pumped up for them, and then they go in there and just stink it up. But they beat Richmond, hey, and that's local cred. So congratulations to the Cavs for handling business week one. We'll see what happens. I don't think that Virginia Tech and UVA are really gonna have memorable seasons, but I do try and cover local stuff, which I'm just, even though I'm in Florida, I'm mentioning those two Virginia teams because that's where I'm from. So if you think that there have been off-season moves that are significant enough to warrant an ACC title run from a prediction, I should say, from either one of those teams, let me know. But I do think UVA had some rebuilding to do the last couple of years, and I think they had an impressive week one performance. So I'm picking them to have a more successful season than the Hokies. You heard it right here. It's just weird to see Virginia Tech not be a powerhouse anymore because every year was Michael Damn Vick this and Beamer Ball and all that, but they're just not who they used to be anymore, man. Just like Miami has not been who they were in the early 2000s for a long time, but I think it's starting to change for the Hurricanes, as I said. So can't wait to watch. But yeah, UFC tomorrow also. Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns, big fight. My buddy Dylan Rush, we were talking about this recently, who our pick is for that. I'm taking Burns to win, even though I like Sean Brady. He is a tough dude, and just because he lost to Bilal does not mean that he should be discredited because look, Bilal's the champion now for a reason. He, from pillar to post, took Leon Edwards apart. And at the same time, Gilbert Burns, I think he's hungry to show that he's still a dog in there. But I can also tell that he's he knows the position he's in because he was giving an interview recently about Kamaru Usman, and he was very careful about how he picked his words, saying that I think Kamaru is over the hill in a polite way, but I think if he loses this fight, he doesn't want to come out and just say it because that, if he loses to Sean Brady, that happens, people are going to probably start saying he's over the hill. And it just feels like it's a what goes around comes around thing. So he was very careful in his word choices. But selection aside, yes, I am picking Gilbert Burns to win this one. I'm gonna say, am I gonna say Gilbert by now? I'm gonna say Gil by KO. I don't know why I just feel that. And of course, next week, the biggest UFC event ever in Florida. You have your coffee with a giant water every time, but shout out to Whataburger iced coffees. But I'm picking for that main event. Gotta go with O'Malley in that one. I do like Marab, as I said, but I think it's going to be, look, it's the Sugar era, and I like Sugar. He catches so much heat, but I mean, the dude can brawl, man. He goes out there, and I don't think you should sleep on his ground game. But I think Marab is going to go to that. We'll see if the cut is significant. It's going to be very interesting to watch that fight. And if Sean wins, I mean, the shit talking is going to be another. I mean, it, we've not seen anything yet. I mean, Sean, I think getting this win, I think he finally really steps up to like, I mean, you can't deny him anymore that he is a superstar. And I already think he's a superstar, but I mean, this is his chance to really just cement himself. And, for the real fans, we saw what he did to Cheeto in that fight. It's an impressive dude. Give him that, please. But I mean, also in such a stacked division, you've got people like Marab and Cheeto, and that's going to be quite an event. Could be something in the works for that event for Mr. Sean O'Malley and Mr. Marab. The I always butcher his last name, but the Balashvili, he is going to get the dub. I'm going with Sean on that one. You heard it right here. Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in here. For anybody who jumped on this thing or who jumps on my Instagram lives, anything that I do. I mean, if you show support, I'm so grateful because, I do this for fun and I don't, the money that comes with it, I'm happy, but I just, I love my sports. I always have. And I like doing these podcasts because it just, a better conversation from it, but it also is a way to make sure that I avoid small talk when I'm out in public with people because who in the world likes small talk? But I love you all very much. My girlfriend's comment, she is definitely a special individual. Shout out to Brandy Aguilar and shout out to all you fans. I hope you enjoy NFL week 1, college football. Not week 2. I said that earlier. It's week 3, but if you're not able to watch the games, hopefully you have the radio on in your car or at work. Uh, use the TuneIn app. I love that. And let me know who you think is going to have the biggest week for the kickoff week for the NFL because I feel like it's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, baby. And so we're going local. You know how it is. Got to show love, guys. Meanwhile, I'm showing love to you. I'm out. Have a good weekend.